Hello and welcome to my channel, Crochet and Copy. My name is Judy. In this tutorial, we're going to learn how to make a granny square. I call it the granny square pocket. We're also going to learn how to attach the pocket to our garment. And I use a t-shirt for this tutorial. But also too, I wanted to show you what I did. I attach it to my shorts that I have. I think it came out lovely when we finished. When my husband saw it, he's like, "You're making a granny pocket? What's that?" So when he saw it, he's like, "Oh, that's a great idea." He loved it. But this shorts, it had no actual pocket. It's just a little fake pocket in the back. So what I do, I just sewed. I'll show you inside how it looks when I attach it. And as I go through the supplies, you see, I tell you to use the, and of course you see my stitches are not that straight or that clean, but hey, we got it attached. So all you do is just go around and you attach it to the back of our shorts, and that's how it came out. So we have the pocket, and my husband was saying cool, it would have been double pocket if that actually was a pocket and this was a pocket. You could have two pockets. But if you have something that actually has a pocket, this has a front pocket, but of course I'm not going to sew it there. It doesn't, it's, if you want to put it there, hey, go ahead and put it there. But I didn't want it there. I want it in the back to show the beauty of it. And this is the granny square color that I liked with it. I actually started to make this one first for the back of my shorts, but when I finished, I changed it up to this because I like this look. The colors fit better for me for the white shorts that I have. This is also nice, but for me, I have to go ahead and make another one and attach it here because I don't want to match. I don't know, it just don't look right for me. If you want to do that, match it up with different color because it's the same color yarn we use. I just started the opposite way. So the yellow is outside, the yellow is inside here. And then the white is here and the white is here, blue here, and then the red is here. And that's all I did different. So I'm just going to go ahead and make another one, attach it, same thing. But again, if you have an actual pocket, you just could sew over the pocket so you could have a double pocket when you're doing granny square pocket and the actual pocket that you will have. So it's no problem. Just measure out how your size you need for it. And with this granny square and my size, I'm a woman size small. I wear small, so I wanted just 4 rounds of the granny square. But if you prefer a bigger pocket or you want it bigger, of course, just continue making rounds with the granny square and you get a bigger pocket. So it's up to you. Because when I did the shorts, of course, you see the pocket. It's the same 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. I use a different kind of yarn. Same hook, it just made it larger, but I like it from my shorts. So that's the top, and this is my shorts, how it looks. So that's what we're going to learn in this tutorial. I like to show you the measurement of our little pocket granny square. It's 4 inches, okay? So that's the measurement of a little granny square. These are supplies you're going to be using to make our granny pocket. The yarn we're using is from TYH Supplies, and this is a package, of course, and you see I already used some of them. Okay, it comes with 20 skeins per pack. It's 100% acrylic and it's a 3 DK weight. So that will be our yarn we're using. Our hook is the 4.0 millimeter. We're going to be using a yarn needle. We're going to be using a sewing needle, and we also need sewing thread. And with the sewing thread, you want to get it to match the color of the garment you're going to attach your granny pocket to. All right, make sure you get that. We're also going to be using a few sewing pins, and lastly our scissors. So these are our supplies. Let's get started. From the package, you go ahead and you pick whatever sorted color of yarn you want to use. For me, I'm going to start with this one. So the first thing we need to do is to get our yarn attached to our hook. And how we do that is called a slip knot stitch.
This is how I do my slip knot stitch. If you have a different method of doing the slip knot stitch, you go ahead and use it. I'll show you how I do mine. I take the yarn and I drape it over my 2 fingers. I let it fall to the back. That's the working yarn. I take my hook, put it between my 2 fingers, and I pull up a loop of yarn, and I have that little knot. Take that little knot and tighten it against my hook, and that's it. That's how we do a slip knot stitch. Now we need to make 5 chain, and we're going to be working in rounds. So this will be starting off round 1, and we're going to do 5 chain. Chain is yarn over a hook, pull through, yarn over a hook, pull through, yarn over a hook, pull through. So far we did 3, and how you could know you did 3 is shapes like a V when you look at it. So we did 3, so we need 5 of them to start off with. So let's continue on. Yarn over a hook, pull through, yarn over a hook, pull through. And there goes our 5 chain. So the next step we need to do now is we need to go into the first chain we made, and that will be back here. Because what we want to do is to make it into a circle. So we're going to join it, and by joining it, we're going to do a slip stitch. Slip stitch is you go into that first chain we made, and of course I'm using the back of it, the little bars or the bumps in the back. You could use the front, it doesn't matter, but I'm just going to use the back because I prefer doing that. All right, then you're going to pull up a loop, and you're going to pull straight across. There you go. Now we have that little circle, and we joined it. Now what we need to do, the next step, is to put double crochet into our center of our little ring. So the first double crochet that we make is actually going to be the chain, because we're going to start off with 3 chain. So 1, 2, 3. That will count as our first double crochet made. So now how you do a double crochet is you yarn over your hook, you go into the center for a little chain or a ring, and you're going to pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, you pull straight across, and then yarn over, and you're going to take off the final 2 loops you have in your hook. There you go. So that's how you do a double crochet. So we want to do another double crochet. I'll show you again. Yarn over your hook, go into that, the center of it, or little circle. You pull up a loop of yarn. You have 3 loops of yarn on your hook, yarn over, pull across the first 2 more loops remaining on your hook, yarn over, and then you're going to pull across 2 of them at the same time. So that's your double crochet. The next step is you're going to do a chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now this will be the pattern we're going to follow to complete round 1. So what you're going to do is you're going to put 3 double crochet in the center. So I put additional 3 double crochet in the center for a little ring, and then you're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. So that's the pattern for round 1. So go ahead and do that by putting 3 double crochet, chain your 3, 3 double crochet in the center, chain 3. When you finish doing that for 2 more times, because the pattern is that we need to do it for 3 times, but we already did it once. So go ahead and do it 2 more times, and then we meet back up. So I went ahead and followed that pattern around, and we complete the pattern with the chain 3. So now what's left for us to do is to join our work. And whenever we need to join our work, we're going to use a slip stitch. I showed you how to do it earlier, but I'll show you again. And we're going to slip stitch to the 3rd chain that we started off with, because the first chain is here, second one will be here, and the 3rd is up here. So we're going to use that to slip stitch to. Now slip stitch again is you go underneath those loops. So you open it up with your finger, so you could get your hook there. This is the back, how it looks for me. And then here's the 2 loops there. Try to open it for you to see. Pull up a loop. There you go. And then pull straight across. And that's a slip stitch. And whenever we join, that's what we're going to be using. Now that we join, all you're going to do is pull up a tail. And we're just going to, I'm going to grab my scissors and cut it off, and that's it for round 1. And see how round 1 looks. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 little space around. Make sure you have for the completion of round 1, 12 double crochet in the center of our ring. From the package, go ahead and choose a second color you prefer. To start round 2, we need to attach our yarn, and we're going to find any of the chain 3 spots that we have. Okay, so choose any spot you want. I'm going to choose up here, and I'm going to attach my yarn here. Our pattern calls for us to slip stitch to get our yarn attached, but I'm not going to do the slip stitch method. I prefer doing it this way. This is how I do my join, my new yarn. If you have a different method of doing it, you go ahead and you use it. I take my yarn, put it over my hook, and I just pull up that loop of yarn and I do a chain 1. There you go. So that's my yarn attached to my project. So now the pattern called for us to do 3 chain. Although I did that chain to start off with to attach my new yarn, I don't consider that a chain. I consider that my slip stitch join. All right. Anyway, that's how I do it. So now we do 3 chain, 1, 2, 3. And remember, whenever we start that pattern to start over the new row, and we start with that chain 3, it always counts as our first double crochet made. So our next step now is we have to put 2 more double crochet into that same chain 3 space we just put our yarn, where we just attach our yarn. So go ahead and put 2 more double crochet in that same space. Now you do a chain 1. There you go. So now this will be the pattern for round 2. You find the next chain 3 space, and you're going to put 3 double crochet to start off with. There you go. We put 3 double crochet in that chain 3 from row 1 space, and then you're going to do 3 chain. 1, 2, 3. Go back down into that same space, and we're going to put additional 3 more double crochet. So go ahead and do that. And to finish the pattern off, you chain your 1. So that's how we look. So now I'm not going to show you how to do here and over here. You go ahead and do it. It's just to follow the pattern of 3 double crochet, you chain your 3, and then go back down and put 3 more double crochet, and then you chain your 1 and you move on. And when you get to do here, the last chain 1, we meet back up and I'll show you what to do. So we follow that pattern around, and I did my chain 1. So now we're going to go back to where we first started when we put that first 2 double crochet and the chain 3. We're going to put 3 more double crochet in there. All right, so go ahead and put 3 more double crochet in our first space we did. Now the next step is we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. So now again, to complete round 2, we're going to join it. Remember, find the top of the chain 3 that we started with, and you're going to join it there. That's it. And that's how we complete round 2. And that's how I look when I join it. And remember, keep in mind that I did start off when I attached my new color yarn, I did a chain 1. So it would be like chain 4 on top of the chain 4 if you're following along as I do it, because you want to make sure that they attach nicely. And we use the top of the chain 3 that represent our first double crochet for that round, for round 2. So now we're going to fasten off our second color. So as we did, pull up a nice tail, grab your scissors, cut it off. Now we completed round 2, and at the completion of round 2, make sure you have 24 double crochet. Now go ahead and choose another color yarn that you prefer to use, and we're going to start round 3. Now to start round 3, go ahead and attach the yarn in any of our chain 3 space that you want, or the corner of our granny square. I went ahead and attached my yarn. So the same thing as we did when we did round 2 to start it, we're going to chain 3, and after we finish chaining our 3, we're going to put 2 more double crochet in that same space. So go ahead and do that. So I went ahead and put 2 double crochet in that same chain 3 space. You're going to chain your 1, and the chain 1 that we had from round 2, what we're going to do there is we're going to put 3 double crochet there. So go ahead and put 3 double crochet in that chain 1 space. Now chain 1. So the next step is going to be what we did for round 2. We're going to put in this chain 3 spot right here, we're going to put 3 double crochet, then you chain your 3 and then put 3 more double crochet in that same space right here. So go ahead and do that, and then we meet back up. So I went ahead and did that corner. So now you're going to chain your 1, and as we did with the chain 1 space, you put 3 double crochet there. So I went ahead and did that, and then we're going to chain our 1. So I won't show you how to do the rest because you get the idea of what we're doing. When you get to the corner, you follow the pattern of 3 double crochet, chain your 3, 3 double crochet. When you get to the chain 1 space, you put 3 double crochet, but of course between you must chain your 1. Remember, chain your 1, then move on to the pattern, chain your 1, move on to the pattern and chain your 1. And when you get there, we meet back up, all right? So now the same thing we did when we completed round 2, we're going to do for round 3. You're going to end off by putting 3 double crochet in the same space we started when we attached our yarn, our new color yarn, to start round 3. We're going to put it there, and what you're going to do is you're going to chain your 3, and remember you're going to join it on top of the chain 3. So go ahead and do that, and then we meet back up. So this is how it looks when I finish round 3. And of course, remember, we're going to fasten off. So pull up that tail, grab your scissors, cut it off, and we meet back up. So at the completion of round 3, make sure you have 36 double crochet. Now we're going to start round 4. Go ahead and choose another color that you prefer. Now for round 4, it's basically what we've been doing. I don't have to really show you. I could just explain in more detail what to do. I already attached my new color yarn, and what you're going to do is you're going to follow it of putting 2 double crochet back in that same space that we just attached our yarn. You're going to chain your 1, and then in the chain 1 space you're going to put 3 double crochet, chain your 1, and in that chain 1 space you put 3 double crochet. And then when you get to the corner, you know what pattern we follow. You do the pattern of 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet, and then when you're in the chain 1 space, you just put 3 double crochet, but between you have to do your chain 1. So you go ahead and complete round 4 by yourself, and then we meet back up. This is how I look when I complete round 4, and at the completion of round 4, make sure you have 48 double crochet. Go ahead and fasten off. So that's it for the rounds that I'm going to do for my granny pocket. And if you wanted to increase it, of course, everything stays the same. The only difference will be, see, as we did round 3, you had 1 set of the 3 double crochet, and then you chain 1 between. And then for round 4, you see you have 2. So then round 5 will have 3. And then round 6 will have 4, and so on and so on, if you need to make it larger. But that's it for me. I'm going to stop here, and then I'll show you the next step that we're going to do. I went ahead and turned the granny square in the back of my work because this is where we're going to start hiding our tail. I'll show you how to do one, but you go ahead and do the others the exactly same way we did it, okay? So I'm going to just take my yarn needle and weave it underneath a couple of the stitches we have here. Come out to over here. Hold on, because I got a small little tail. Hold on to it, and so I don't pull it. And I try to hold on to it. If it come out of my little hook, I just put it back in. All right, so and then go back over here. See, it came out because it's so small. Just put it back in there, and then you could pull it through. Pull it back through, and that's it. Now I'm going to grab my scissors and cut that off. So you go ahead and do that. Find stitches underneath, and so it doesn't show in the front of our work. And that's all we're going to do to tuck in our tails, all right? So go ahead and do that for the others, and then we'll meet back up. This is how it looks when I complete tucking in all my tails in the back of my work. Now the next step is to sew on our granny square pocket to whatever garment we have. The garment I choose is a regular t-shirt. So this is my t-shirt, regular one, plain black t-shirt. And I just center it and I pin it with using the sewing pin so it can help me keep me straight. And when we sew, you could start at one end and work your way across and keep, of course, the opening of the pocket unsewn. And a word of caution when you're sewing at the ends of our pocket, the opening, make sure you go over it a couple times so it stays nice. So when we push your hand in and out of the pocket, it doesn't come undone or loosen up on us. And you could do this, I'm doing it by hand, but you could use your sewing machine and do it for you, and that's fine. But I show you how I do mine with my hand. So I attach my sewing needle to my sewing thread, and I put a couple of knots at the end. And with the sewing thread, I have it double. It's not single. So I'm going to start to sew on the wrong side of our work. So I'm going to go from the inside, all right? Okay, so my sewing needle is inside the garment. You see my sewing pins? So we're not sewing through the other part of our top, my t-shirt top. So that's it. And then I grab a couple of where we have the yarn of our pocket or granny pocket, and I pull it through. That's all we're going to do. We're just going to, and like I said, I'm going to do a couple times here so it's secure. And I'm just using the regular sewing method to sew it on. And remember again, if you prefer a sewing machine to do it, you go right ahead and you use your sewing machine. So go ahead and sew around it, and I'm staying to the outer edge of our last row that we did when we finish our granny square pocket. So that's where I'm using, and try to make it look nice as we go. That's all I'm trying to do. Okay, so work on that, and then we'll meet back up after we attach it. Now I made it around to where I want to be. So when I have my pocket open left unsewn, I'm just going to hide my tail inside and put a couple knots at the end of my thread and then cut that off, and that's it. So that's it. I attach my pocket, my granny square pocket, to my t-shirt or the garment. I'll show you inside how it looks. You know, my stitches are not straight and clean, but that's the idea of what we got here. Okay, you can see it because I know it's the darker color thread and the darker color t-shirt. That's it. We're all finished. Thank you for watching. I had fun showing you how to do our granny square pocket. I hope you had fun doing it with me, and let me know what you think in the comment section. Bye bye.